Hey,
Hey, I hear you there. What's up?
my mic clear?
Yeah, you're pretty clear. Yeah, sounds good.
Alright. Yeah, sounds good.
Boost your level on my side, so it shows up a bit louder for the YouTubes. You know, they want everyone to be a little bit same volume and everything.
Oh yeah, of course.
Now we should be good to go. How's the music? Music is also fine. All right, let's jump into it. So we're doing equips mainly, right?
Yeah, no, mainly I just had like some common sense, like general knowledge questions actually.
Mm-hmm.
But like equips, we can talk about that too. Nothing, cause I know a lot about the like progression on MapleStory because I've been watching your videos a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like like on YouTube.
Okay.
So it isn't too bad for my main question was for this upcoming like 30% off Star Force event, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to know what should I be prioritizing like my APSO. I do have 5 set APSO now,
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to know how to get that to 17 star with like the transfer fodder and whatnot and transfer hammer.
Mm-hmm. So what softwares are they now?
Real- Nothing. I basically got them like this month, so like I can two of the equips are 12 star forced, and the
Mm-hmm.
rest are just zero. Like I haven't even done anything with them.
Haven't even touched them. Okay. Um. Oh
But I
yeah,
got
I
a
see the
bunch
growth
of
one.
transfer fodder just to
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that the first picture.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good start. So the main thing is, so we kind of go by the calculator, right? The main
Yeah.
thing is that you, in general, you want to use 30% off to get to 15, and then wait for a 5, 10, 15 event to go from 15 to 17. Like that's like the general thing. The question, of course, is do you do it on the items themselves? Do you do it on next items? Obviously, if you don't have the items yet, it's better to do it on the lower level items and then just transfer it over. Once you do have the items, right, and then the last part, do like 15 to 16 during a 5, 10, 15, transfer it over back down to 15, and then go to 16 guaranteed again, and then just safeguard the last one to have 17 star Abzo. That's like the general idea. If you already have the equips, we can just put the numbers
Yeah.
in and kind of look at the differences. But what the main difference is going to be is the cost. Even to get up to 15 is not going to be insane, but there is going to be some cost difference because you have to safeguard, right? You don't want to have to get the Abzo stuff again.
Yeah, yeah. What the 5, 10, 15, that's like 15 star you basically get a free star, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Well, yeah, you still have to pay the money, but it's 100% success. So no chance to boom, no chance to fail.
oh
And it's so good that it changes the average cost of getting anything past 15 by so
yeah,
much that you basically always just wait out for events like that because it saves you so much money.
I see.
I believe that up to 17, it already cuts your costs in half. So if you were to safeguard to 15 during a 30% off, right?
Yeah.
Without star catching because nobody really does that the whole time. So you're looking
Yeah, yeah.
at 600, 650, probably something like that cost, right? You want to go a little bit above the median, but you don't want to exactly go to the average, right? Because there's like one unlucky guy here that
Yeah, no, yeah.
4.5 bill,
Uh,
that the poor guy.
yeah.
So we say like around 600, a little bit over 600 maybe, is like a good amount of money to safeguard for that, to set aside for that.
Yeah.
Now, if instead you were to do the 150, right, and you
Yeah.
don't safeguard, and then you have to make sure that this goes back down.
Then you gotta go
Um,
to 16 star, right?
well, so that would be the idea behind that is like, is that worth the wait of like doing this and then switching and then waiting until a 5, 10, 15 to get the extra star, or do you do 16 here, which I think could be worth it. So then you're looking at like 400, a little bit over 400 mil. So you're saving about over 200 mil. But the main thing is also you do need some extra backups, right? You might boom, so you want to have a few backups for every item.
Yeah, that's not a
Um,
problem. I got a bunch now from Renmaru.
yeah, because the main thing is that it doesn't matter what class it's for, right? As long as you can, as long as it's the same type of item and it's 10 levels lower, you can just transfer it over. So it could be
Yeah.
like it could be a mage glove. It
Even
could
the
be.
even the weapon?
Well, the weapon has to be the same type of weapon, right? For transfer hammering, so it has to be another two-handed sword, or it has to be yeah. In
Okay.
your case, it would be a two-handed sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get
Yeah.
the
Well,
the arcane here, or did you get that somewhere else?
what do you mean?
The from the compensation?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to even worry about the weapon, right? So
Yeah,
you
I'm doing
probably...
the hat, so.
Yeah, exactly. Doing the hat instead. Yeah, so you still get the 5 set bonus there. Yeah, it's worth the the switch for the set bonus. How much weapon attack are you getting from your weapon right now? It's probably pretty nutty.
484. My flame's like a tier 4 flame.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Put a new tab. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, none of my stuff's really cubed up really right now either, because I didn't really. That's why I didn't really like crop the images. I didn't really think it mattered. But should I be like focusing on cubing then? If like I have to wait till 5, 10, 15, which is gonna probably take like another 3, 4 months. I didn't really see one on the next sunny Sunday or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully one in the next batch, but we'll have to wait. What are the? Hang on, what is the last one that we have now? Is it end of May? Oh, sorry, end of April. I mean, the 18th. Yeah, and then hopefully we get a new batch then. So between April 27th and like June 9th or something. Hopefully it's somewhere between there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but June 9th is already over 2 months. Yeah, that's like 2.5 months from now. Yeah, probably. Yeah, because up to 15 is not like the most expensive thing, right? Especially if you're doing it this way. You could say though that if you want to like switch fully into the Abzo, that you do it on the Abzo itself. But yeah, so that's about a 200 mil per item extra for 5 items.
Why would you want to do that? Yeah.
I don't know. Let's say that you need the damage, you want a set bonus, and you want to start investing. Because if you invest now into the flames and into the potential of the Abzo, there is a lot of potential gain there. But you might be offsetting some of that if you're going to be transfer hammering the stuff in, which also means that you don't want to go too hard on the potential because that's going to get overwritten. The flames you can go a bit harder on already because that doesn't get overwritten when you transfer hammer over.
True, yeah.
So that's something that you could do on the side. Would probably... Do you have your secondary in here?
My secondary? Yeah, it's... no, I don't think I do, but... It's a 15% strength. I was gonna go get the Lvl221 secondary. I think that one's better for me anyway. It's only a unique potential.
Yeah, the Lvl221 is well, it's a little bit better. It's technically better, but it's not like a wow.
Yeah.
Like a huge increase or something for... There's a bunch of classes, mainly the Nova classes, that their secondaries are, you know, not very spooky. It's just...
Yeah.
So,
whatever, but...
yeah, depending on your financial situation and your income, man, if your secondary is already unique, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of up to you if you want to like restart that, or because what is the potential gain? Is it like 1 weapon attack or something, or is it a little bit of stat?
I think so. I think it was like 2 weapon attack, or I have no clue actually. I just know it's better than the one I currently have, even if it's like a really minuscule difference.
Cause I think it might be a little bit lower stat, but then 2 extra attacks, something like that. Dragon Essence, that's the one. The 14 evolving, this one. 10 all set and 2 attack. And your current one is it Nova Truth
Frozen.
Essence? Or the Frozen one?
Nova Frozen.
Okay, so that's 8 all set. Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's 2 attack, 2 all stat. No, it is better, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're...
That's why I'm not really concentrating on it right now. But like, get it whenever I can.
Exactly. Yeah, so other than saving up for the Star Force, when it comes to like gaining damage and spending money now, it probably would be the best to spend it on your secondary and your emblem. That's where you can make the biggest gains now for sure. Yeah, so what kind of income do you have?
7 times Maple Tour and Ursus basically. I don't really farm.
And then just whenever you train.
And then yeah, whenever I train, and then daily bosses. I was also gonna ask you about daily bosses. Do you have like a list of ones that you do for mesos, like mainly just for the crystals? Yeah, I'm like getting into that point now where like I'm maxing out my crystals per week. And sometimes those just go. I sell my raw ones, my guild cap crystals, whatever, the raw ones, and those ones are really cheap. So I don't know if I should be doing that or looking for different ones.
Yeah, if you check the dailies command, have you seen that one before?
Oh yeah, I have. I didn't see the tab for crystal value there though.
Yeah, there's
I
the
can
level
probably just
one,
figure
and
that
then
out.
there's the by value, yeah. So the first one has the crystal value for the current monsters. I think around your level, you're mainly looking for like normal Magnus, Hard Von Leon, Mori Ramaru, right? These, where it's like 7 to 8 mil each.
Yeah.
Normal Pepilatus. And then, well, you want to prioritize selling the weeklies first, right? So you're probably doing like Cygnus, I guess. Normal Cygnus and CRA. Are you doing those?
I haven't started Cygnus, but CRA,
Yeah. And Hard Magnus, can you do that one?
I can't. I get carried for it though, because
Mm-hmm.
the Kaiserium, I'm like, well, might as well try every single week.
You're right, with like someone with some crazy drop rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit lower priority now that you have the fake arcane, but yeah, Kazarian is
Yeah.
still huge. Yeah, true. What else is in that list? Like CPAP and Akechi. Are you able to do those?
Yeah. Um, no, not really. I haven't really started CPAP or Akechi either yet. I haven't done the pre-quest for those.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, like my bossing has been really like nothing, because I just hit 220 last week.
Okay.
And then I really started bossing. I was just really grinding and doing my Legion. Like I have a 4500 Legion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like I barely trained my main until I just been doing the mules over and
Right.
over.
Okay, makes sense.
Now I'm really getting into like the bossing part of MapleStory.
Right. Right. Okay.
These, yeah, EXP coupons are gonna be pretty nice because I can just go straight to 235.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Symbols.
And then there's a bunch of bosses that open up for the weekly, and then a bunch of those lower level daily boss crystals. You'll end up not really selling those. The reason I'm
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
hesitant to be like, oh, you want to do like 3 times this boss, 4 times that boss, 7 times this one, because I feel like the more you min max on how many bosses you do for crystals, it
Yeah.
just takes away time that you could be training and then just making money while you're training, and also be gaining experience and leveling and getting nodes and getting droplets, and there's so much value in all of that, that I kind of want to make sure that people are, or like I'm a little bit hesitant to steer people towards like trying to min-max their crystals hardcore, when there's still so much to be gained in all these other areas, because sometimes, yeah, if you're preoccupied with that, yeah.
I was also thinking what's called because of these EXP potions, like should I even use them, or because would I be out leveling like my because I know you can only get those droplets in Arcana, but and the meso rate there is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like should I just be grinding to 235? Would that be like the best min maxing, like getting the mesos and droplets for my main, or
Yeah,
is
probably.
using those potions good?
I would use those. So you're talking about specifically the 230 to 239 potions, those? Or like 200 to
Yeah.
239 potions, technically?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably you just use those at 237 when you get there. Because you have 90 days to use them, right?
Yeah. True.
So there's still quite some time for those.
Yeah. A long time. Yeah. You're right.
You probably want to... Well, no, not even. It's only... Like, the only caveat there is that the experience curve is going to go down to 250 as well with Neo. So if you're past 250 to use the potions, you want to use them before Neo hits, because otherwise they will give you less total experience. But if you're just going up there, then you can... I would just use them at the highest possible level to get those free levels and get a little bit more experience out of them. Because it doesn't seem like you're in any trouble of reaching that goal, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if you like super run out of totems or something, and you you know, something like that, you still want to get those levels. Yeah, because you have for the general so the general balance. I guess we could talk a little bit about that. Like the general balance between, unless you have like specific questions. Do you have any?
No, go on. What are you saying?
Well, like the general balance between. Wait, I feel like the music is way too loud. Okay. The general balance between like Star Force and cubing and flaming, right? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen the progression grid?
No.
With the stages on it? It has like all of the all of the ways that you can upgrade and stuff. With the stages of the game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in general, that's like the numbers we want to aim for, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing your Star Force is probably on the low side there.
Yeah.
'Cause this has like 200 on the low side. Oh.
Yeah, it's probably around there.
Mm-hmm. And you're also... Wait, Control Shift T. There we go. Well, you're also wearing like a Spirit Pendant, right? So that doesn't give you any Star Force. You're going to be slightly on the lower end because you have a secondary without Star Force. That kind of stuff. We do have One Droid coming, so that's going to be very important to jump on when we get that.
I saw that.
Yeah, you did well not to upgrade your current one too much because all
Yeah,
that
I
money
bought
is
that
going to
right,
be...
like on the last day of the last event. I forgot what that one was, but spent those 800 whatever 1,000 coins on that. Then I saw the 100 event come out the next day after that.
Yep, I was like, well, guess we're not spending any money on this. Yeah, it's a nice placeholder until that. But when it comes to yeah, so like getting everything, if everything is at like 12, pushing everything up to 15, that's usually the time when you also start thinking about getting your secondary, your weapon, and your emblem, getting those up to legendary with 2 useful lines. That's probably around the same point. And then once you get everything pushed up to 17, that's usually when you go like full legendary on your accessories, so that you can mainly maintain the stat there and also get the Mesoptane and the drop rate rolling, right? So you have some of that already, I think?
Yeah, I might only have like 1 line of each, but...
Okay, 1 of each.
How does that... What's the cap for meso and drop for equipment?
For equipment, the meso cap is at 100%, so 5 total lines. And for drop rate, it's at 200%, so 10 total lines.
Okay. And that only comes on the rings and pendant. And what else?
Yeah, so if you look at the equipment tab, it's very easy to remember. So it's rings, pendants, iron face, and earring. So like this group right here.
Oh, okay. Just
they're
like
all,
the top,
yeah, they're all kind of like bunched together. Sometimes people get confused with like belt or maybe cape and shoulder, do some weird shit, but it's just those right here. So it's 9 total equips. So in general, in the beginning, you aim for like a hybrid set where it's 5 lines of Mesoptane, so you hit that max, and then 4 lines of drop rate to increase how many bags drop and to get a little bit more nodes, a little bit more droplets, that kind of stuff. And then later on for bosses and stuff, what people will do is they'll just aim for like a full drop rate set just to increase the chances of everything like soul shards and cubes and flames, because you don't get meso drops from bosses anymore. So then they end up replacing those 5 items. So in total you have like 9 plus the 5, and then later and then 9 damage ones. So in total you'll have like 23 accessories lying around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a huge batch of things. And then, yeah, typically when people have the boss accessory equips, like those end up being like the drop rate ones. So that you also get a little bit of damage back from the set bonus there. That helps you a little bit with mobbing. And then for bossing, of course, it's the Golic set, crazy set. You have a pendant, I believe, right, for Golics?
Pendant. Ring? No, I don't. I only have the pendant, and then the ring I'm pretty close to getting. I think I have like 500, 600 coins.
And you're doing like a duo run or a carry or exchange or something like that with guild, maybe?
I'm doing I get carries from my guild.
Yeah, the boss is pretty far in the game.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot harder. Now with the weapon though,
for me, what's called getting the carries. Like I don't know, cause I didn't want to spend time doing like getting the other equipment before, then putting all that mesos into that, and then being able to solo the bosses or duo trio them. I don't know. My mindset was just getting the equips first, and then having the mesos to cube them and then Star Force them, and then soloing the bosses by myself. Just so I don't waste time on the previous stuff and like having to go through all the stages.
Yeah, I understand the sentiment that would be wasted time. To me though, that's like the class definition of the opposite of wasting time. I think that's where the most value is. But I get it from an efficiency standpoint. It's a waste, yeah, for sure, because it's way more time invested for way less return, obviously. Well, like in paper and in gains in the screen, it's way less return for sure. I get that as well. We just have to agree to disagree on that one.
Also, I was wondering, what bosses should I be prioritizing for weapon souls? Like I don't really know the weapon soul thing because I haven't really even done any souls. But can you explain more on that?
Yeah, that again is also in that screen that you where the crystal value is. There's also soul tier, soul shard tier is also here. So you want to look for double S soul. So there'll be well, probably not easy magnets anymore because you can already kill that one very easily, right? So it'll be Crimson Queen and Vellum from Rudibus, and then normal, well, easy Cygnus, but you can already do normal, right? So normal Magnus, and then normal Cygnus, and then CRA, and then hard Magnus if you can get to that one, Chaos Vellum, and then basically it's just the hard bosses. So like Lotus, Damien, and then basically everything beyond that, Lucid, Will, all of those.
It doesn't matter which one I do. They'll all give like the same magnificent souls, and they have like different ones they can give.
The name of the boss determines what the quality of the shard is. So you can get it from the lowest quality, but the higher lower difficulty, I should say. But like the higher difficulty boss just has a better chance and drops more shards than the lower ones.
Yeah.
So the ones where they have a weekly and a daily, it's very good to double up on that. So like typically what I do is like the only bosses I come back to on my higher level characters is Queen, Vellum, normal Magnus, and then Arc. Not for the soul shards, of course, but for the for the dominators and the primals.
Yeah.
Yep. And other than that, well, typically I do all of Rudibus because I'm already there and I'm on a drop coupon, so might as well kill those as well. Sometimes I drop a flame or a cube, you know, so it's a little bit of value. But those bosses are typically the ones that I keep doing even when I'm far beyond the content. Because the magnificent souls they're not time limited, right? You can transfer them. So if you have a lot of characters that you do those bosses on, you can still transfer them to whatever character needs the souls used, if they're magnificent. So that's the value in doing it on a lot of characters.
Now, which Golex equip should I be keeping and which one should I be throwing away? Like my inventory is kind of getting cluttered with them. I've been keeping the solid and reinforced so far, but are they any important?
Yeah, so, well, you're only getting belts and earrings, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the earrings, I think if you ever get an epic, I would transfer hammer it over, right? So that you can transfer the epic potential, so it's basically like a free epot. But unless it's epic, I think you can safely get rid of all the solid.
All the solid? Okay.
Yep. And I would only keep the reinforced belts if you have a lot of them and you are not keeping the ping bean belts as well, because they're basically the same function. They're the transfer fodder to get into the superior belt. So if you have enough of one of those, you can get rid of whatever the other group of items is. So either keep all the reinforced belts, if you have like a bunch of them, if you have like 6 or 7 or something, or you keep all the ping bean belts. So choose one of those two to save. The main thing is so that you can transfer the trace over to save you a bunch of time. The more different types of items you keep, the more traces you'll get stuck with in your inventory later.
Solid belts are trash then? No need for those. Right?
Yeah, solid belts you can get rid of. Solid earrings I would get rid of. So those two I would keep them if it's epic, only to transfer hammer into a reinforced, but otherwise just blanket get rid of those, and then choose between the ping bean belt or the reinforced belt. Sorry, pick one of those two groups of items to keep, and the other one you can get rid of as well. Just extract. The reinforced earrings I would always keep because for the long run, those will be useful. In the beginning, you can get 1 to like 15 or up to 16, right? Transfer hammer with superior and everything. But I would always keep saving those for later if you're trying to go for 20 or 21 on superior later on. Then you want to have a bunch of reinforced to just be able to fodder during like a 5, 10, 15 and just go crazy and click. And then you need to just get lucky on one, and then you can transfer hammer over immediately, and that saves you so many coins in the long run. So those definitely always keep. And then and kind of same thing for the belts, right? But and there it depends on if you want to do the ping bean or the reinforced. But for the belts, the same thing. You probably initially get 1 to 17, so you can start with a 17-star superior. But then for the long run, you want to see if you can get a 20 or 21 also through transfer hammering.
Yeah. Okay.
And so remember that those items specifically, but maybe also other ones where you're going higher with transfer hammer, that you don't go too crazy on the potential once you get it. Typically, if you have like 1.5 line or 2 line on legendary, that's usually the furthest you push it, just so that you don't have to give up on too much value if you're going for another transfer hammer in the item. Or, you know,
and then transfer hammer only goes up to epic, right? So like the transfer hammer stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
You just keep that at epic. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for the stuff you're transfer hammering into it, yeah, I would never go above epic on that, yeah. But you can definitely, let's say you get those 50% epots that are untransferable, right? The ones with time limitation. That's a very good item to use them on so that you at least have some value to transfer through later.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so for all the other fodder, yeah, you have the shoe, the gloves, the cape, you have the hat. You might get a few more extra hats, right, through CRA before then, so you should be fine. Probably
Oh
have
yeah,
some
I've
more.
already have so much more.
Okay, cool.
The day I gave you the
Right.
picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you start saving up like 3 days in advance, Ramaru drops so much stuff now. You could probably fill up your entire inventory, get through the event, and then just get rid of all the ones that you didn't need, something like that.
True.
Any other backup items that you're wondering about if you should keep or get rid of?
No, that was mainly it. My inventory is pretty clean after that.
Okay, cool.
Let me look again.
Yeah, so for flames, that's also in the progression tab, right? Kind of the, where is my, here it is, nice, last tab. I have altered a little bit the flame scores here and everything, because of the, you know, it's mainly because of the people now getting like 15,000 flames. They can aim a bit higher, but that's of course not going to be the norm, right? Just because people can get higher outcomes now, that doesn't mean that on average it's easier to get that. People are just disproportionately using more flames and getting more rare outcomes. So people are just unironically using 5,000 eternal flames. Of course they're going to get something that is otherwise impossible to get, because usually it takes you like 3 years to get that many eternal flames access to. So I didn't really let that take into account too much on what you should be aiming for. Because if you get above what you should be aiming for at least, then of course you're good, and everyone knows that who has those outcomes. But that doesn't mean that everyone should be, you know, because that will upset the balance between where you spend all your money. So that's the main thing.
Have you got into making a 0, like to 200 yet? I was just making one like before we started calling. I was wondering, just a quick question about that. Is it better just to follow the storyline for that? For the 0, just to level it up?
I think what most people do is they finish chapter 2, and then you can leave the mirror world. You can go train outside, and then they come back at like level 180 or something. And then with the storyline and with a little bit more training, you'll get to 200 very easily. But that way you can blow through the storyline a bit faster.
Okay.
Because it gets a bit slow between those levels for 0. They're not super strong there yet, so they need a little bit of time to get online, basically, to come online. Yeah.
Also, I have a bunch of dineros too, but I was wondering if I should even get the monocle, or should I just stick with the condensed until I get like a pap mark or something?
So I don't think
I mean.
Yeah, the pep mark is like a thing to look out for, but it's not really a thing to plan on. It's still,
so it's like the end game, yeah.
Yeah, it's still too rare to. You can definitely get like a 17 or even beyond monocle before you even start thinking about like going hard on a pep mark. If you're very lucky early on, you know, but you haven't even started running CPEP yet, so that's probably something that's going to come a lot later. So the value in keeping the current ones and upgrading this one for drop and mezzo is, like I mentioned before, is like the set bonus can come in, and it has flame advantage as well, so that'll give it proportionally a little bit more stat. The thing with the monocle is that it comes online hardcore once you start pushing past 15 stars because of all the extra weapon and magic attack they get, and because of the slightly higher tier and the potential. So initially there's like, that's a huge plus for the Zakum accessories. The other plus for the monocle is that if you go hard on the monocle and let's say you hit like drop rate and stat on it, you can just get another monocle and then get damage on that one. And if instead of getting damage on that one, you end up rolling like 2 lines of drop or something crazy, you can just start cubing the other one and you just switch them out. Whereas with your Zakum accessory, if you accidentally roll like 30% strength on that, now you're fucked, kind of. Like, now you have to use it for damage, right? Because it's so good. And then you have to make another accessory again. But now you're stuck on the item with lower late game potential, but it has the well, potential in terms of Star Force, but it has the potential on the stat that is the one that you want to take to the late game. So then you have a disconnect between the item and its and what is on it. So that's a little bit of a risk. Yeah. So usually I let it decide whether the item is already like unique or legendary on deciding the function. So I think since it's only epic, you're probably in a good position to go for 2 monocles. Just remember that those will mainly be very useful once you start pushing past 15 stars, so they might not come online as quickly as you would want them.
this is a mechanic or not in MapleStory, like if you can make it a mechanic, but do you know about like the low jump that you sometimes just randomly hit?
The low jump?
I don't know how to explain it. It's like a really weird jump that you can do, and it just pushes you really like forward instead of going up. And you can like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean or no?
The low flash jump, you mean?
Yeah, or like it works on my Kaiser sometimes. Like it'll sometimes hit that jump, and then I'll be able to like do like a blade burst after that without like uh getting too much like movement speed chance. I don't know how to explain it, but it just happens and it's so beautiful sometimes.
One thing with Kaiser that I heard of, like when you're transformed, is that what people do, they like jump attack and then teleport down immediately after it, so that they have less airtime.
Oh no, I know what you mean by that, yeah. But
I'm showing in game. You don't mean like the flash jump when you have like this, or when you like press later to like land shorter, right? That's not what you mean.
no, not that.
It's something specifically to Kaiser?
I don't think it's Kaiser. I think it's any class that has like a flash jump. But maybe it's if you don't know what it is, then it's not a mechanic that you can like use. So I guess it's just maybe just my leg or something. I don't know.
So it's some kind of short hop.
Yeah, it's like it'll jump you further like a flash jump, but it'll be like right below like near the ground. And then while flash jumping, you can use like a skill. I don't know how to explain it, but it makes like doing Monster Park or Maple Tour so much like quicker. Like that one jump will just clear those entire path of mobs without having to like stop in between and whatnot.
Oh, someone's saying it might. Oh, do you binding flash jump to a key and not just double tapping jump?
No, I double tap jump.
Oh, you double tap jump.
Yeah.
Can it have something to do with getting knocked back by a monster? Because that technically puts you a little bit in the air, so you can immediately flash jump. Maybe that has something to do with it?
I don't think so. Maybe next time I'll get like a clip of it, and then I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
I'll link it in the stream. But
yeah,
I'll try to get a clip of it next time, just so you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing what exactly it is. I've seen some situations where you can, like, I remember when I was training on I think it was on the Battle Mage, there was a platform in Drake's that I couldn't reach. Like, the top two platforms are a little bit further apart, and you couldn't reach it with a teleport. But if I got hit by a monster, I would get hit up by just enough pixels that I could reach it. So I would, like, walk into monsters, get hit, bam, and up teleport, and it'd be faster than jumping instead. I thought you might be talking about something like that, but... yeah, maybe we'll see. If we get a beautiful clip, we'll be able to see maybe more exactly what's going on there. But it's not something I'm like aware of or that we've talked about a lot before already.
Okay, and then also I was wondering about Dream Defender. I wasn't really I didn't really know how to do Dream Defender too much. Some people told me don't even bother with it until you can get past stage 40.
Yeah, so. It's only a little bit of gains. So the main thing is, did you see me do Dream Defender today on my Adele?
A little bit. I wish I paid attention, but I was doing something on my side.
So the main thing is that you want to reach for the next multiple of 10, right? When it comes to floors, so like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you always want to be able to clear that floor. And then typically the floor right after that is where the game gets quite a bit harder. So like 11, 21, 20, 31, right? Those are like those are the ones that get significantly harder than the floor before. So in one sense, it's pretty safe to hit a decimal and to be able to reproduce being able to clear that decimal, but that's the important thing, right? Because if you can just reach it with literally everything on, that's your optimal scenario when you want to be clearing it. And then basically you stay on that floor. You just, whenever you have Dream Defender, you'd be like, okay, I can clear. Let's say that the first time you take like everything in, you can clear like floor 32 or something. Then the second time what you do is just you start at 30, clear 30, and then once 30 is clear and it puts you in floor 31, you just exit. And then you just wait for your cooldowns to come back, go back in 30, clear 30, wait until you get pushed into 31, and then just exit again. And then you just take those coins and you just leave. Because that way you just go in, spend like 20 seconds per run, and go out. Maybe spend a little bit of time in between, right? So if you have to wait for your cooldowns to come back, sometimes what people do is they'll just go do one kill quest, then come back with the cooldown quest on, kind of use your time efficiently there. Because that way, because you know, if you compare it to every time you go to 32, well, you get 2 coins extra, so that's 1/15 of your time spent, but you spend more than 3 times the amount of time, because the extra 2 floors are going to take you longer each than the base floor of 30 when you clear it, because some of the skills are going to run out and all that stuff. So it's not very efficient to like try to climb every day. So you just wait until you make a significant upgrade. Either you get a new symbol, a bunch of extra stat, or, you know, you get another Gollux drop, or you get a tier up on some kind of item. You feel like, okay, now my character is quite a bit stronger, or you level up some boost nodes, right? And then you just go into 30, like you get all your buffs. Maybe you get some guild buffs, you get some legion buffs, you get the monster park buffs, and then you try to push from 30 to 40. And the other way that you can also do this is because once you're just clearing the floor every day, you also get those extra Dream Defender points. I don't know if you've seen those in the system around that. So you
use those skills and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So the main thing that you want to use those for is that if you're cutting it really close, you want to use the bell skill. That just immediately switches one of the music boxes from purple to yellow and helps you push the bar into the other direction. So by being at a decimal for a while and just going and clearing, going in, clearing, going in, clearing, you basically just save up those points. So it's either whenever you make like a huge upgrade, or in the beginning it's also like, oh, I've saved up a lot of points, so like I'm getting close to like 2,000 points, which basically means that you can almost use the bell every single time, right? You go like the first time, you can definitely clear the first floor, maybe the second one, and then you just use a bell every time until you have like all of your burst up one run, and then you use that instead as a placeholder, and then boom, you can just brute force your way to 40. And then once you're slightly bursty, you know how to move around the map. We could look at that a little bit. Let's see if I can check my VOD actually.
Once you're at like floor 100 or whatnot, you just start getting, it's 1 coin per every 10 floors, right?
So you get the amount of coins that is the same number as the floor that you cleared. So if you clear floor 30, you get 30 coins, which translates to 1 symbol, and you do that 3 times, so that's 3 symbols. So the easiest way to remember it is like whatever floor you clear divided by 10, that's how many symbols you get per day just from the coins. And then plus 1, because you can talk to the NPCs next to the tower to get extra coins every day once you completed all your 3 runs, and they give you on average 30 coins a day as well.
Okay, and then, so what's like the maximum output of coins you can get from, or symbols you can get from Latch?
You can get 500 coins at most per day.
Okay.
So from Dream Defender, so you can get 500, and then anywhere between 24 and 36 from the NPCs. It's like a random, and then you can get 4 extra symbols from the kill quest. So the most that you could get would be something like 21 symbols, but like in Reboot, that's very, very hard to do. So most people, they clear, like as soon as they get to Lechline, they clear like floor 30 or 40 maybe, depending on how strong the class is and depending on how quickly they leveled, right? If you leveled really, really quickly and you get like carried for the Abzo gear, you might be like a lot weaker than your level. So at that point, you might struggle more, and probably you get to like 20 or 30. And then per extra area that you unlock, you easily get another 10 floors extra. So once you get into like Morass, you're probably clearing 50, 60. And then once you're clearing Asphyra, you're probably getting into 70, maybe into 80. And then either you just, you know, you don't push it too hard, you just do 80, and then like that's fine, or 70 or 80, you know, depending on what class you are. If you're a little bit more supporty class, if you're leveling your boost nodes a little bit slower, you might be a little bit lower. Some people might be at 70 for a while. But that's fine, right? You get 7 symbols from that, 1 extra from the NPCs, that's 8, and then 4 from the kill quest, that's 12. It's still faster than Morass and Asphyra, so you're still focusing on pushing all of your event symbols and stuff like that into Asphyra and Morass. And then eventually it probably still levels a bit before Asphyra and Morass, just because of how much later Asphyra and Morass are unlocked, basically. The other thing that's going to be really important is the mobility within the tower.
That's pretty, like, it's fine for Kaiser, I think, just having the transform up.
Yeah.
So you can just teleport everywhere.
And then when you're out of transform,
usually you rope lift and then
you have rope lift. Yeah, but the main thing is that I want to say is this. You have those little well, you can't see them very well. You have to kind of know where they are, but you have these wooden posts. The signposts, and they have an arrow pointing at where they teleport you. So if you just press up on them, boom, you get teleported to the portal that's in that direction. And there's one in every map. So there's one here, there's one here. And that's a fast way of getting, so I always, like, I'm attacking on top of that. So when I see that the next box starts flashing, then you know it's very close to death, so you can start like heading for the exit. Make sure you finish it off. Boom, move to the next. Or if you have some kind of AoE that keeps doing damage, you can already move to the next, and it'll just finish it off while you're setting to the next. And a little bit more helpful, like advanced tactic, is that the order in which the boxes come back is the order in which you cleanse them, right? Because they get corrupted by the monsters surrounding them. So the way that you can postpone them getting corrupted and just slow it down is by killing the monsters in the map. So the easiest one to slow down is the middle one, because you're always passing by the middle one whenever you're going from one to the other. So I would always throw like 1 or 2 attacks out as you're passing it, so you can just slow down the middle one getting corrupted. And then that way you can kind of cut it off before it gets out of control, where you're like, oh, you're down to 1. Instead of trying to go for this last purple and trying to clear that one, it's best to go to whichever one is going to be corrupted next and just stop that one from getting corrupted. Because even with 4 purple, like see right here, I'm still clearing the middle one, making sure that it doesn't get corrupted. And now what does it do? It guarantees me the clear, but also it gives me more downtime for my cooldown stall comeback.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. And any of those other abilities you need to worry about, or just
no. Bomb clears all of the monsters, I think, or kills all of the monsters, I believe. And then this one, the 400 one, I think it stops monsters from spawning, and then the 200 one stops the bar from moving in one direction. But it's like it just holds it still. But I think none of the other one have good value. I would just always save up until you have a bunch, and the max points you can have is 3,000. So if you ever reach 3,000, you could be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try to go to the next one. If I don't make it, it's whatever, I'll just save up points again. But if I do make it, boom, 1 extra symbol a day, just for auto going in and clearing. So the bell is like the main one to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's most efficient if you're using it when you have a what I call a side spawn, basically, because you have 3 clocks that are, 3 music boxes that are colored in the beginning, right? So this is what I call a mid spawn, right? Where you have the middle one colored. You always get teleported back to the middle. So the middle one is like the easiest to clear because you're right on top of it. You can immediately start attacking it, immediately kill it, which stops the bar going to the right in its track immediately, and it immediately starts moving to the left. However, if you have what I call a side spawn, which means that all of the colored ones are on the side and the middle one is yellow, what will happen is the bar will go to the right for a longer period of time before you can even, because you have to travel to the box first. So there's like double the time wasted, right? Because the bar is already moving. So that would be a better time to use the clock. If you have a mid spawn and you're right on top of it, you have lower value from the clock. So while you're climbing, keep that in mind. But yeah, the first time you just pop all your buffs and just go in, and it might take you a half hour or maybe even more to just get as high as possible. And you'll probably get somewhere low to mid 30s is typically where you get at least. Of course, this was back when I started doing it. Characters have gotten stronger, and your 4th V for the Kaiser, from what I heard, is pretty good.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll probably help you out a lot in climbing the Dream Defender Tower.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I don't look at my notepad. That was mainly everything. I think we covered everything that I had questions about.
Yeah, so in general for flaming, when you get flames from bosses, just toss them on whatever item has the worst flame score, right? You're familiar with the flame scores and which items you want to be focusing on? Oh, sorry, you're
supposed to be focusing on is like the ones with flame advantage, right?
Yep, exactly. And then just go highest level to lowest with the priorities, of course, the weapon. But yeah, in every single category, it's both your highest level item, it's your highest possible gainer, and it's your and it's flame advantage. So in every category, your weapon wins right now. It'll depend on how many flames you have, and you don't really want to downgrade. So I would just save up whatever flames you get until they start flashing. Right? It's like, hey, I'm about to expire, and then you just take all your flames and you aim for that that tier 6 attack.
True.
And if you get something close to that when you're almost running out of flames, then just stick to that and wait until they start flashing again. Once you hit tier 6, then you just go to all the other items, so you can start doing the Abzo, because even if you transfer, you don't lose any stats there, and then you go down to like the CRA items, and then you go to the cup, etc.
That should just leave it to the side until I get superior? It does have
Um,
like a nice 50 plus attack power.
sorry, but the first part of what you said got cut off. Are you talking about the CRA set?
My alien set. Should I not really
Oh, right.
worry too much about the cubing and Star Force on that? I'm just waiting for Golux Eclipse anyway.
Yeah, yeah. What it is at is fine now. It doesn't have flame advantage, so flames is completely off the table. And it's a
Yeah.
12 star. That's fine. And because it's level 180, even recubing it and flaming it gets pretty expensive pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Golux, you want to save up for Golux for sure. Yeah, I'd say that. I guess
And
yeah.
are nodes and droplets affected by drop rate as well? Or
Yeah.
I was reading that the compensation notes, or is that only like for the compensation? They said bosses weren't affected by drop rate. So there's no need to like switch over your gear.
Bosses are, but like certain items that you get are not affected by drop rate. So like superior equips are not affected. Papulatus Mark, and then Absolab and Arcane drops, and all of the drops in the pitch boss set. Those are not
Oh, okay.
affected. Yeah, so those are just like a set drop rate. That's why there are still people now who haven't gotten a Pat Mark after running the boss for over 2 years on a character
Yeah,
with like 300% drop. Otherwise, mathematically, that would be impossible.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only way we can really. Yeah, whenever they increase the drop rate for the other items, they will also increase the drop rate for the Pat Mark. So that seems to be in tandem in like the same type of drop table.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think potential-wise, if you get your secondary and your emblem, I think you can make some big gains there by going at least for like 2 lines of attack on those two in legendary, I think. And after that, potential-wise, it would be the accessories, but make sure that you save enough money for the Star Forcing adventures.
I was also like not even gonna worry about cubing until a cubing sale comes. Just stack up my mesos, and then
Yeah,
make
there
that
could be
big
one
gain.
Yeah, there could be one in the summer for sure. We'll have to see if it's like a failed DMT with a limited cube sale, or just a limited cube sale, or an unlimited cube sale, or there's like a lot of possible combinations.
Just for the emblem and secondary, like shouldn't be that many mesos.
No. If
for the emblem and secondary.
yeah, I think it's like yeah, I think it's like 1 bill to get the legendary, and then like 2 bill average to roll something nice. So like 6 or 7 in total should already give you quite some gains. Yeah, and then just at least epic to unique everything else, and just roll like 1 or 2 lines of strength on that, and you'll be way stronger already than now. And then just hold up for a 5, 10, 15, make that 17 jump, and then start jumping on the legendary train for everything else, I guess.
Yeah, right now my Legion's been carrying me.
Yep, Legion's quite good.
All my stuff's like not even upgraded yet. Not even tried doing anything with them yet.
Yeah, your pants don't even have potential, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's fine, I think. You know, if you can whenever you can get used to just playing the game the way that you are, with how weak you are, quote unquote, that means that every upgrade is going to be more significant, not just in how much you gain, but like percentage wise going to be more significant, and the more significant an upgrade is, the more efficient it is in general. So, yeah, if you have the ability to play the game like this, that means that you can save for events, and then for events you can go much harder, your money becomes worth more, and then boom, you get bigger gains for the money spent. So it's a long-term win for sure.
Yeah. Trying to make sure I don't forget anything. But no, I think we covered mostly everything.
Yeah, just make sure you got all your compensation used in the right way. You did you use your symbol selectors yet?
No, I haven't got to 230. Yeah, I was gonna use it on 500 on Moras and Asphera.
Yeah, depending on how, they'll probably give you enough damage also to immediately get to the point where you can speed up your Lechaline and speed up your tower because of all the arcane power, right? All of this now. Yeah. And then you can already get more Lechaline speed so that you still get Lechaline and Moras and Asphera up eventually, because it'll just slowly catch up to them. Yeah. Because it doesn't seem like we're getting a second daily for Moras and Asphera, like, ever.
Is it bad, Moras and Asphera?
Well, you get 8 symbols a day and that's it. So Lechaline starts lower, but like as soon as you clear floor 30, you're already getting 8 a day there as well. So that's pretty quickly that you can do that. That should be on the first day or like within the first week at least. And then you can start going above that. So it's bad as in that it just takes a long ass time to max them, because all the other areas got an extra daily, right, for an extra 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 symbols even. And they're speeding up Vanishing Journey and Choo Choo even more if you do the pre-quests in Reverse City and in Yum Yum Island with Neo. So like that doubles up the kill quests there. So for Vanishing Journey, you're gonna get 22 per day, and then for Choo Choo you're gonna get 23 per day. Like that's really, really fast versus 8. That's like 3 times the speed.
Huge. Like I wasn't even doing Muto before because I thought it was like annoying. Then I realized how easy it was, and then that thing's going by quick.
Yeah, I think it's a huge difference now, because in the past getting the 100 arcane power to be able to really do hard mode was quite tricky. It took you a little bit, but now the extra arcane power you get from the symbols, from your inner ability, sorry, not from your inner ability, from your hyper stats, I mean, and from your guild skill together, like 100 is basically free. So then you can start doing hard way faster than before. That's like one of the power creeps that came from all of that rework that wasn't initially very obvious, but in hindsight that actually helps you get those symbols online way faster. Yeah, if you do, I guess one last thing, if you do start doing the accessories, right, and getting all of them to legendary and stuff, Neo is going to have a bunch of rings, so, but that's like, it's still a while out, but Neo is going to have those really big rings, the what was it, the Glory, the Tenebris, and the Awake rings. You're going to be able to get 5 of those for your whole account, so you can choose which ones you get and where you get it. So those could be very good drop rate Mesoptane rings. And if you're going for the 9 lines, right, on the 9 accessories for 5 meso and 4 drop, if you get more than those numbers of 1, then just recube whichever one has not the line you want and doesn't have a line of stat with it, so that you can have a little bit more chance of ending up with 1 line of drop or meso plus a line of stat.
Wait. Sorry, explain that. Can you explain that again, kind of?
Yeah, so let's say that you have those 9 accessories, you get them all a legendary, and you want to get them all, you want to get 5 with meso and 4 with drop rate. Let's say that you end with 7 with drop rate and 2 with meso obtain, right? Obviously, that's not what you want. So you got to pick like 3 drop rate rings that you want to reroll. So then you want to look for the drop rate rings that you have that don't have stat on the potential as well, and reroll those first, so that you can end up. The ideal situation is you end up with 9 lines of utility, and all of them have at least 1 line of strength, because that way you have 81 extra % strength, and that way you don't lose as much kill potential by being in your drop gear. That would be, because that would be painful, right? If you're like, oh, I have drop gear now, but now I have to 2-shot instead of 1-shot. That's not ideal, because that might make it so that you actually don't make more money, right? Because if you're killing at half the speed, but you're getting double the rewards per kill, then you're actually getting the same. So it's not even beneficial to switch at that point.
Yeah, this well, my Awake ring already have 20% drop and 9% strength.
Yep, so that
and
one's
I have the Cosmos and Master SS strategy. Those are in vet rings, so I don't really need them for, like, those should be focused on item and meso as well, right?
Yeah, I think in general it's a good idea to just aim for item or meso with damage, even as your damaging rings, just like as a ring that you use for both, because you're really not trying to get like 2 sets of equips going at level 220. I think that's spreading yourself too thin. So yeah, so that's why focusing on weapon secondary and emblem, and on the accessories, like if you have that foundation together with Legion and with Lynx, if you have that foundation right, then all the other stuff, it'll fall into place faster once you have those things, because that's your major damage in your WSE, and then your utility in your accessories. Once that's in place, you start making money so much faster, because all the damage is not going to come from the other stuff. The damage is going to come from your symbols and from your nodes. That's where the damage is going to come from. So you want to go hard on events, hard on just leveling, and then having all the areas, leveling all of that stuff up, and that's when all the other stuff starts falling into place, all of your Abzo, all of your CRA, all of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that means we went over everything, I think, right?
Yeah, everything I need it to be covered, it's covered.
Cool. All right, if you find that thing with the short hop, make sure you send it to us. I'm interested to see what that looks like.
I definitely will. I want to find a way to be able to do that whenever I need to.
Yeah, if you feel like it smoothens your rotations and stuff, then that could be something cool to look into.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. If there's still something that comes up, just hit me up on Discord, and I'll upload it to YouTube so you can watch it back to make sure that you didn't forget anything.
For sure. Thanks for that.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Yep. Bye. All right. It was a quick primary gear review, so not a full account review progression, but just equip progression. Had all of his other stuff pretty figured out because he said already watched a lot of my videos, so that's good. Saves us some time. And it helps me almost get it done within time as well. So yeah. I guess in general, the risk, there's a risk assessment when you're holding out for events, especially for cubing ones. I think for Star Force events, those are very common. So I would, if you get everything to 12 and then starting hold out for 30% off to get to 15, hold out for 5 to 15 to get to 17. I think that's pretty safe. When it comes to cubing, I think early on you can, projects like WSE, getting to Legendary and some useful lines, I think you can do that whenever. Waiting for events is something you can do, but they're so sparse now, and we don't even know what kind of quality the cubing events get, that I think there's pretty low risk in spending on cubes. But always make sure that you're keeping an eye on the events, keep an eye on the event calendar that I keep up to date, keep an eye on the MapleStory website, so that when there is any announcement, you start saving up and then going hard whenever the event hits. So thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful for you guys. And as always, if you guys have any input, or you want to join the guild in both NA or EU, or you have training videos of yourself in Moonbridge or above, or you want to share your battle analysis, monster kills per hour, or you want one of these sessions for you yourself as well, make sure you check the description of the video and catch me live.